Welcome back to another episode of After the License, the podcast where we help real estate agents build their business. I'm your host, Jeff Bittner. As always, if you're listening on the podcast, make sure to check out our YouTube channel. We have YouTube specific trainings. If you're watching on YouTube, know that you can catch most of these episodes basically anywhere you get podcasts, but I also would encourage you to check out the description in the YouTube video because we've got some YouTube specific links like training to how to build your database and your sphere of influence in that YouTube description. Today, I want to talk on the two main reasons, at least in my opinion, you should have a real estate website. And I think this is important because when you get into real estate, you're sold a lot on websites. You're sold on the power of them and why it's important to have them. And in my opinion, there's two reasons, and they're different reasons you should have them, but you should understand why you're creating a website or why you're buying a website before you actually do that, right? So the two reasons, in my opinion, you should buy a website. The first one is for your brand. In my opinion, a lot of people and everyone should really have a website for their brand. Now, if you're an individual agent, that brand might be your name. It might be your brand name, whatever that brand name is. If you're starting a team, it might be your team name. But ultimately, I think you'll want to have something so that when people inquire about your services, you can send them there and say, this is what we're about. This is who I am. This is about me. This is about the team. This is what we stand for. And hopefully, Google picks that up so that when people search your name or search your brand name, that website pops up. In my opinion, that is really important. In 2021 and beyond, businesses that don't have a website and don't show up when people Google their name or Google their brand, if nothing pops up as a brand website, people are going to trust those companies less. I know of people who, when they go to a restaurant or they hear about a restaurant, they do a Google search first, and if that restaurant doesn't have a website, they maybe won't order from there. They won't go there because it's a sign of almost distrust in 2021 and beyond. So if you're thinking about a website and you're thinking, hey, this is going to be my brand website, I want people to be able to learn about me, learn about the team, learn about the company here, I think that's really great. And I think you want to position it in a way that ideally it shows up high in Google results when people search your name or search your brand. The flip side is I think there's another type of websites that are becoming really popular in real estate in 2021, and they have been for the last few years. And that is kind of these search portal type websites. It's websites that are connected to an IDX that allows the consumer to search for homes like they were looking on the MLS. These sites are really powerful and they provide a huge value add to your business when you can direct someone to your website and you can say, hey, all of the homes that are on the MLS are on this website. Take a look and use this as your search portal. In a lot of cases, those websites will tie directly to a CRM or those website companies will have a CRM attached. You can actually use those websites to not only generate leads, but you can use them to actually see what those leads are looking at. So I think that is really, really, really powerful. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about these two different websites is because when you're purchasing something, I think it's important to go into it with the expectation of what is this website going to be? Is it going to be option one? Is it going to be about us? Is it going to be about our brand? Are we going to want it to rank high on Google? Or are we going to want it to be more of a search portal? Now, there are some websites that kind of fill both of those categories. They not only are a search portal, but they can rank high on the Google search. But in a lot of cases, you might not get one with the other. Some of these companies that provide these search portal type websites ultimately don't always rank the highest for your name or your brand name. And so in that case, it might make sense to have two different websites. To have a website that's a search portal for your city, for your town, for your state, whatever that looks like. People can go, they can look at homes, they can see what's on the MLS, that can tie to your CRM. But then a separate website that's specifically dedicated to being Google friendly, being about your brand, being about your name, that ranks high when someone Googles you. they can find you, they can find information about you, and you can link over to that second website. But I think it's important to understand the difference between the two. Too often, I think we want websites that do everything, and you can build something. If you're tech savvy, you can build something through WordPress and you can do an IDX plugin that does it all. That's not only SEO friendly and Google friendly and brand friendly, but also has properties available. But in a lot of cases, if you go with a traditional company that kind of provides an all-in-one experience, that provides the search portal experience that's tied to a CRM, they don't always rank the best for SEO, or they might not rank the best for your personal brand. And so just go into it with those expectations. Just know when you're purchasing a website, what do I want this to do? Do I want it to be a place where I drive traffic to it, generates me leads, that connects to my CRM? Great. There are a lot of great websites that do that. Do I want it to be SEO friendly, that people can find me when they search us? Great. That might be a separate website that you have that's just focused on those things. Okay, let me know what you think about today's conversation. I know it's a different one. If you're watching on YouTube, drop in the comment section. Do you have a website that's more of a search portal? Does it rank well on Google? Do you have something that ranks well on Google? Does it have properties tied to it? Let's talk about what that looks like and maybe what service provider you're using, and we can touch on those in later videos, but hopefully this was helpful. The mindset behind what do you want your website to do? Understand that, and then purchase something that's in line with that. If you're tech savvy and you want to try and build an all-in-one option, there are some ways you can do that. But if you're going to purchase some of these other tools and platforms, they might not do everything right out of the box. So know what you want, know what you're purchasing, and hopefully that's some good advice for you. Okay, as always, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up on YouTube, drop a comment below, and I'll catch you next time.